Hey y'all, welcome to this week's Nap Time Brand Time, my live series where I show up for you every Monday and answer your questions about business and branding and design. Everything I talk about in these videos is based on conversations that I have with clients, with friends, with real people I'm talking to in real life. And so if you ever have questions, don't hesitate to reach out, because I love to create content that you actually will value and that you want to know. And so if there's anything you want to know, let me know. I would love to answer it for you. And I hope that these are helpful for you. Okay, so yes, today we are talking sales. I'm not gonna lie, I used to have a big issue with the word sales. I come from, like an art background. I went to theater school and, I've mainly done artistic jobs. And in the art world, I feel like the idea of sales gets really, really quickly intertwined with selling out. That like, it's okay to receive money for your art. Like you can, like it's good if people pay you for your art, and they should be paying good money for your art. But if you actually like worked for that sale, or like, heaven forbid you like tailored your art for a client, then you're selling out. And like clearly if your art isn't just magically selling without you putting yourself out there or having to like tell people that you're selling it in any way, then clearly your art's not good enough, and that's insane. And it's like I feel like that's the reason why so many people burn out on artistic careers, and why people think they failed and why they stop, because they didn't like immediately just get attention without asking for it. And so, I mean, sales is the fundamental principle of business. It's like you literally can't have a business without making sales. It doesn't exist that's what a business is. If you're not selling, you don't have a business. And so if you're just waiting and expecting for crowds of people to rush in without you trying, then you might be waiting for a long time. And so to be fair, some people do go in the opposite direction, and sales can get really intense, and they're so focused on the numbers and the metrics and the systems and the funnels and the sales tactics, and that they lose sight of the actual people. And that's when it starts to feel really sleazy. And so I feel like the people that were super into sales are the ones that gave it a bad name. I hate to say it like that, but I feel like sales got a really bad name for a long time. And so I want to help clarify that today. I have to say, I used to hate sales. Car salesman, exactly. Just like a car salesman. It's like exactly what you equivocate when you think of sales. And so when you're sitting there trying to go like, well, I want people to buy my product, but I don't want to like be like one of those. And I feel like I was in jobs where I was asked to do that a lot, and like it just didn't resonate or align with me, and I just didn't know how to sell like myself, is really what it is. And so today I want to say that we are not talking about sales funnels, and we are not talking about sales tactics. So icky. It's so icky practices. So yeah, we're not talking about sales funnels. We're not talking about sales tactics. Like don't let them, don't take no for an answer, or, that's not my tips today. And we're not talking about ways to manipulate people or corner people or ambush people or guilt people. That's not what sales really is about. And so what we are going to talk about today is how to confidently make direct sales as a solo entrepreneur or a small business owner. That's what we're talking about today. And so I'm going to get to it quickly. I'm going to try to make these videos quicker. And so I tend to ramble. And so I'm going to try to make these a lot quicker and more actionable. But so here's the secret. Here's the biggest secret to making money without feeling sleazy. It's keeping this mentality that when you are making sales, you are connecting someone with a specific need to an excellent product or service that will fill that need for them. That's what sales is. I'll say that again. So when you make sales, you're connecting someone with a very specific need to the excellent product or service that will fill that need for them. That's it. You're not even really a salesperson. You're a matchmaker. You're a matchmaker. You're literally just putting products and services that people are asking for and need in their hands. That's what sales really is making sure that you are giving your product or service to the people that need it. And so I'll give this example. That I get really excited when I find like the perfect product for myself. I get really excited and enthusiastic as a consumer. And so like I recently bought a makeup eraser. I don't know if you've used that. It's like one of those like reusable cloths that you just add water to, and it like takes off all of your makeup in seconds. it's awesome. It's amazing. It's like it's reusable. It's low waste. It's awesome. But I found out about this product because I was talking with a girlfriend of mine who runs an online like beauty boutique. And she just told me about it. I would mention that I was, like trying to go lower waist, and then I was talking about wipes and like baby wipes. And then we were talking about different wipes and makeup wipes and all these things. And she just kind of mentioned the makeup eraser. And I was like, that sounds fantastic. That's exactly the sort of thing I'm looking for right now. And so we just talked for a little while, and hey, thanks for jumping on. I went home and we talked, and I, didn't buy anything from her immediately, but I went home and she had sent me a link for the product. And you know what? That was not annoying. It was not annoying because I had just been talking with her about this product. I said this was a need that I'm trying to fill, and she filled it for me and made it super easy for me. So as soon as I came home, I had a link waiting for me and was ready to buy. And so it was not annoying. It was not pushy. It didn't feel salesy at all. She was literally just, as I was saying before, when you're making sales, you're connecting someone with a specific need to the product or service that will fill it. That's it. That's what it is. And so it wasn't annoying because when she sent me that link, because I had a need and she filled it. And so here are a few secrets to doing this well, to filling people's needs well. So one is knowing your value. Know your value, where you have to know what value you actually do provide. And so what does your customer gain with your product or your service? And so even more importantly though, is you need to be able to express that. So expressing your value. We talked about this in a post a few days ago. So if you want to go back about your client transformation sentence. So basically your I help blank do blank so they can blank. Your client transformation sentence is key. It's basically like your elevator pitch. It's like what the old elevator pitch, or like the sentence that's in your Instagram bio, is your quick pitch that if anyone is looking for a quick service, you need to be able to quickly tell them why what you do fills that need. And so thinking about that, what value do you provide? Knowing your value. Two, another way to do this correctly, or another just secret to doing this well, is talking to the right people. Oh, hey, Katie, jumping on, yay, hi. So talking to the right people. So one of my favorite quotes, I've said this before, and I will say it probably every day forever, is by Seth Godin. And he says, selling to people who want to hear from you is way more effective than interrupting strangers who don't. So selling to people who want to hear from you is way more effective than interrupting strangers who don't. So if the people that you're talking to don't seem interested in your product or service, they're not your people. And that's okay. And that's okay. That's what you're looking for in sales, is there's enough people in the world who need what you are selling that you can move on and you can look for someone else. If they're genuinely just immediately not interested, then you're not sitting there trying to push a product or service onto somebody who doesn't want it. That's when sales becomes sleazy, or when it starts to feel pushy, or you get anxious about it because they didn't really want it, and now you're trying to talk them into wanting it. And so move on. Find your people. Find the people that are already have the need, and then your job is just to tell them why yours is the best thing to fill that need. It's super simple, and it keeps the anxiety off of it. As someone who's an introvert and an artist and stuff, sales has always been really scary for me. And once I started thinking of it as literally I'm just filling a need. That's all I am. And if they don't have that need, then they're not my customers and they're not my audience right now. And maybe they will have that need in 6 months, and all of a sudden maybe they're interested and now we'll talk. But if not, then I'm not going to sit there and try to push my services on people that aren't really interested. Okay, so 3, I'm going to keep trying to make these quicker, is making it as easy as possible for people to buy. So I told my story earlier about the girl that I was talking to who she told me about the makeup eraser, and when I got home she had sent me a link in my DMs and just a link to buy, and I was like, perfect, and I bought right there. And so making it easy for people to buy, or at least to inquire about your services, is key. That's huge. The harder it is for your product or service to find, then the more sales you're going to lose in the process. And if people are confused, then they're also not going to buy. And so just trying to make it really clear and easy. And then the last secret to doing sales well is following up. Follow up. People forget, I forget. I feel like it's usually like the third follow-up for me that I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I should buy the thing. I hate to admit that, maybe I'm just a terrible customer, but following up, if they've already expressed interest in what you're doing, it's not annoying to follow up. If you're just sending a quick, just kind of like, hey, just wanted to check in and see if I can answer any questions for you. That's not annoying. They already expressed interest in this. And so if they're not expressing interest and they're like not talking back to you, then like obviously sending like 10 emails is going to be annoying and super salesy. But especially if you've already talked to them about the product or service, or especially if you've already sent them like a proposal or a quote, then they're genuinely interested. They were interested enough to like already get the process going with you. And so follow up. That's one of the big things I'm learning about, like launches right now, or work with process. Yes, make it easy for them to give you money. Yes, make it easy for them to give you money. Y'all, make it easy for them to give you money. Okay, so yes. And so following up is another easy way to give them money is sending a quick link, an easy link. I send all my proposals through a system that they can immediately just buy, that like they can just click like, I accept. They can sign the contract, they can pay their deposit. And so there's not like 7 different back and forths. It's just kind of like as soon as they've decided to accept my proposal, we're in business. And so making things streamlined and as easily as possible, and then following up. And I'm like learning about launches and stuff right now, and that's something that I learned with Entrepreneur Challenge in January, was that a lot of times it's the final day of your launch that is going to be when everyone signs up. It's the last day. That's like the biggest sales day in a launch, is the last day. And so knowing that and being okay with that, and knowing that if you've reached out to them once, that you're not, same thing. If they're not responding, I don't mean to like encourage everybody to like all of a sudden start like sending out 10 messages to everyone. But if you know that it's a service that they really could need, they've expressed an interest already, then it can't hurt to send a few little follow-ups. And if they don't respond, they don't respond, and they weren't meant to be your customer. But anyway, and so that is my secrets to making good sales. I always like to make this super actionable, and so I'm going to give you guys 2 homework assignments if you have chance. These will really, really help you to be more comfortable with your sales on a regular basis. So the first thing is to make a list of every product, or of every problem that your product or service solves. What are just general problems that, like, even stuff that, like, like for me, like self-confidence in your brand, is the problem that my services solve. Much like, like obviously like website updates or things like that, which makes sense. But what are the problems that you solve? Katie, yes, really working on that following up part. Not as scary as it seems. Yeah, yes. Especially if they're already interested, then they want to have a follow-up. I promise you, or at least that's the way I work as a customer, is I want to follow up. Like, please follow up with me. If I don't hear back, like, I'll ask people to follow up and be like, if you don't hear from me in a week, please just follow up. I really am interested, but I'm a mom, like things get passed over, looked over, or forgotten about really easily, and that doesn't mean that I didn't want to buy. Okay, and so yes, so your 2 homework assignments: making a list of every product or of every problem that your product or service solves. So that way you just have some easy answers and things to kind of like pull out that are just make it easier for you to talk about your service or your product. And then the second thing is, this is something that's huge for me. If you're having trouble with sales, join Facebook groups and start interacting. Where do your ideal clients hang out? I guarantee you there's at least like 5 Facebook groups that all have your ideal clients in there. They're all sitting there and they're asking questions, and a lot of times they'll have already asked your questions that you can just jump on and like provide value and help and answer questions. And then all of a sudden now you can like maybe send them a quick DM, and it's like that was somebody, same thing. If they don't respond, you don't have to be pushy. It's not scary, but you can just find people who already have the needs that your product or service can fill. That's it. You're just looking for people that need what you're selling, that need and are expressing interest already in what you're selling. And then your job is just to tell them why it does, why it fills that need for them. And so it just makes it a lot less scary. It makes it a lot less sleazy feeling. It makes it a lot less pushy and intimidating when you're just thinking about, like, you're literally helping these people by helping them fill this need. That's it. You're just filling a need. And so I'm gonna leave you with that today. But please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you would like to learn more about sales, if this is something like a specific topic that you're interested in, let me know. I'm always trying to like feel out what I can be talking about more. And so if sales is something that you're interested in, please let me know. I have way too much experience in sales, not great sales. So I'm happy to pass on what I've learned. Anyway, have a wonderful Monday. Thank y'all for being here. Love y'all. I'll see you next Monday at 1:30 p.m. PST for more Nap Time Brand Time. Bye.